All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for your patience as we were getting everything set up here. I'm putting this in slideshow mode so that everybody can see it. And we're happy to have you here today. Jeff wasn't able to make it today and he wanted me to host. So welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We're excited today because I will be talking about Crystal Knows, which is a favorite topic of mine. It's a personality profile system, AI tool, and I'll show you how you can use it in your job search. So before we do that, we want to let you know that this event is being recorded and the recording will be on Career USA YouTube's channel for others to view in the future. And by participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Comments in the Zoom chat do not appear in the recording. So our agenda today is going to be success stories first. Then we'll have 30-second introductions. Then we'll have the committee reports on the PIT crew, the interview success workshop, and the career tip of the week. And then we'll have the main event where I will talk about Crystal Knows. So you want to use the chat box if you're in Zoom, and you can click on the chat and you can type your questions in there. And then we'll try to answer your questions as they come up. So again, here's a picture of me. I'm in Insights Account Management. That's the role I'm looking for, and looking forward to presenting Crystal Knows to you today. So with that, we'll want to start off first with any success stories. Does anybody have any landings for today? Anyone? Anyone? Any success stories? No donuts to share today? Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have some landings next week. Looking forward to hearing that. And so with that, we'll go to the next item on the agenda, which is the 30-second introductions. So in your Zoom chat box or in Facebook comments, you want to put your name, phone, your email address, the position you're looking for, and 2 or 3 target companies, and then you hit send. And so with that, I'm going to play the Jeopardy music. All right. If you're still typing, continue to type your name, phone, email address, and the position you're looking for and some of your target companies, and we'll see how we can connect with each other and help each other. All right. So with that, it's time for introductions. So I guess anybody who's there in person who wants to do an introduction, Walt, I'll leave it to you and team if you guys have the computer where people can come up to, or if the microphone's working. Everything's on mute on your end. I can't hear any of you, so.
If I unmute, it causes problems. So
Yes.
I can't do it.
Is it working on that computer where that woman is standing?
Hey, Patty, it's Jama.
Oh, yes, I can hear you clearly, actually.
Excellent, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jama Ball. I'm a global operations leader who enjoys transforming chaos into order. I'm looking for a position in post-sales, product implementation, or service delivery here in the DFW area. I need contacts at Priceline and at Rippling. My name is Jama Ball. Okay, she said the volume's low. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
it's great if you could get a little closer. I can't hear it very well, but
about
I heard you a little bit, so
It's step closer. Step
that's good. Yeah.
Hi, my name is David Shipp, spelled S-H-I-P-P. I am looking for a new role as an entry-level business analyst. I help companies look through, ideally, their marketing data to help them make strategic decisions. I need contacts at American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and Charles Schwab. My name, again, is David Shipp, spelled S-H-I-P-P.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room?
I'm Gina Patton. I'm looking for veteran liaison role, executive liaison, employee trainer. My target companies are Lockheed Martin, Bell Helicopter, Raytheon, and my name is Gina Patton. Thank you.
Good morning, Matt Keelan. I'm an IT VP and I help companies manage their technology dollars wisely and I keep hackers out. I'm looking for contacts at NTT Data, RealPage, and USAA. Matt Keelan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Knezik. I'm an IT application project manager. I specialize in release management, meaning I can support and deliver software releases. Looking for contacts at Equinix. Again, my name is Mark Knezik.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William McLaughlin. Currently seeking a data analyst role. I help companies do the research necessary to help them improve the bottom line. Looking for contacts at NTT Data and CoreLogic. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you very much.
All right. Anybody else in the room?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Great. Okay.
Hey, Patty.
Yes.
Hi, it's Rosina. I
Hi.
couldn't hear the name of the person who said they needed a contact in Southwest Airlines.
Then they can go ahead and if they're on the computer, they can type it in the chat or they can come up again.
I think it was me. David Shipp. I can type in the chat.
Thank you.
David Shep.
Ship, S-H-I-P-P.
Okay, because I do have a contact. That's why I wanted to ask.
Great. Thanks,
Have him
Rosina.
please have him reach out to me in case he can't hear me.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. Got it.
All right. Okay, onwards. So again, you can go into careerdfw.org, also go to careerusa.org, where you can find all kinds of resources. You can join the group there. You can look at the videos and look at the calendar on careerdfw.org for all of the events that are coming. And I'll cover that at the end as well. Again, here's the calendar that you can see all the different events that are happening. And today, as you know, we have this event happening. Also at about in another hour or so, Foster Williams has his show, the Job Father show, so you can listen to that as well. And then we have the practice interview team, the Dallas Pit Crew. And that is where you can actually practice your interview. And Walt, maybe you want to talk a little bit about this and give the latest update?
Are we having fun yet? Yes, I certainly can talk about the practice interview team, the pit crew. This is a mock interview with a panel. 2 or 3 panelists will interview you. You can send your job description and your resume to that dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. The meeting is held on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. It's here in this church, at Christ United Methodist Church in Plano. There is an online session on like the 5th Wednesday of the month. This is what I remember. But the idea is, practice is going to be very important, and I heartily recommend that the pit crew is one of the resources that we can take advantage of to learn how to improve our interviewing skills. So this was the mock interview side of things. We're all on your side. I'm a panelist, and we're just trying to help ourselves get better at interviewing. So be glad to have you get together and sign up. So send a message. With that, you'll get a lot of information about what you need to do to participate.
Great, thank you. And if anybody has any questions about that, Walt would be the good person to reach out to, and or you can send an email to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com if you'd like to send your resume and job description for a practice interview. All right.
And it's free.
And it is free. Practice early, practice often. Okay. Oh, here is actually the title. I should have scrolled through more. Meeting in persons the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays of each month. And on the fourth Wednesdays, that's going to be online. So for all of us who are outside of the DFW area, we'll be able to watch a practice interview on the fourth Wednesdays of the month. Okay, and here's Walt's info. Walt, you even have a QR code.
I'm going to switch personalities right now. And by the way, today I'm having to look down at the camera, which is not what we want to do in a real interview. We want to have that camera at eye level. So I don't mean to be looking down at you, but that's the way we're set up for today. So let's talk about the Interview Success Workshop, which is also free. And what's the difference between it and the pit crew? Well, first of all, it's an informal learning interview. It's not a mock interview. I have it on Zoom. We do only 1 or 2 people at a time. We'll cover the 12 basic categories of questions, and we'll learn how to sell ourselves. So what does that really mean? It means we're selling who we are, what we do, and how we can help. So in our responses, are we just responding, or are we thinking about selling those 3 elements? And also, how do we really differentiate ourselves? Such a way that we have a positive memory about the interview, so that when people think about the candidates, we will stand out. So it's one of those things. All you have to do is go look at my LinkedIn about section. It gives you all the details of the workshop. That's my job now. It'll tell you how to register, where to send the messages to walt_glass@yahoo.com. I'll be glad to take your request. I'll send you back some dates of availability, and we can get you on the schedule. But the emphasis is really not so that we're sitting in a hot seat, that if we don't have this anxiety and fear and all that going on, we're just focused on learning. So I call the workshop Learning Without Squirming.
Great.
Next slide. If you take that QR code, it'll send an email message to me, and you just have to edit it a little bit, add your phone number and your LinkedIn and how you learned about the workshop. And that'll get you a message started to me to get registered. So I'll try to make it easy for you to register. I think there's another slide coming up. There we go. I spent a lot of time at nighttime making up these poems. So today's poem came with a great revelation one morning about 3 o'clock in the morning. Looking for a job? Then give practice a nod. Gather some brass, get off our rear. Practice gets you the job.
All right. Thank you very much for that beautiful poem by Walt. All right. So
Can we add one more person to introduce himself that just showed up?
oh, sure. Absolutely.
The doors to the church are locked, and so it takes you an extra 10 minutes to get here and find this place today.
Ah.
real close.
Okay.
So you can
You do it on this camera?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Phil Young. I'm a senior financial analyst who helps executives monitor their spending and create their budgets. And the outcomes are that they spend less money, which means more of us can keep our jobs. My name is Phil Young.
Thank you, Phil. All right. Anyone else in the room, Walt?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we'll turn to the career tip of the week. You can check out the career tip of the week on the careerdfw.org or careerusa.org. And there is a new career tip each week that you can read. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Rosina.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. And Walt, love your poem for today. All right. Well, today's tip of the week is dated February 4th, 2024, and it's titled How to Get an All-Star Status on LinkedIn. Achieving all-star status and adding keywords to your bio are among the best things to stand out to recruiters on LinkedIn. And this article is by Daniel Oropeza. For the majority of people trying to get hired today, there are no better tools to network, finding a job, and landing a job than LinkedIn. The site is almost an industry standard for most careers. And as Twitter falls further into its own grave, LinkedIn has been swooping in, taking its place. If you're seeking a new job, there is an easy way to dramatically increase your chances of being seen by recruiters right now. LinkedIn's All-Star Status. What is All-Star Status on LinkedIn? If you're relatively new to the LinkedIn or are just not good at finishing what you start, you'll notice there's a completion bar on your profile. That bar tells you how close you are to reaching all-star status. To get a little pesky bar to 100%, you need to do the following things. You need to add a profile photo. You need to have a location on your profile. You need to select what industry you work in or aspire to. You need to list your education level, add your position if unemployed, write seeking new opportunities, and add any past experiences. You need to add at least 5 skills you have to your profile, and then you need to write a bio summary on your profile. So those things all together are going to get you to the next level, all-star status. So make connections with people on LinkedIn. The more, the better. Reaching that 100% milestone means you're a LinkedIn all-star, and it comes with benefits. You'll be 40 times more likely to be contacted by recruiters looking to hire workers. And then according to LinkedIn, you'll also be 18 times more likely to show up on a search result and differentiate yourself from that pack, since only 51% of users have all-star status, according to LinkedIn's guru, Austin Belchek. Now, how to stand out to recruiters on LinkedIn. Now you can just add anything to your profile to get all the all-star status, but that would be selling yourself short. What you put on those categories is actually important to your presence on LinkedIn, not just because it looks nice, but because LinkedIn works similarly to Google's search engine optimization, SEO, rankings. In other words, there are certain best practices you can use to rank higher than other people when recruiters search for potential hires. You want to use keywords in your bio. When recruiters look for candidates or post a job and want to find candidates that match the description, LinkedIn relies on keywords from the About Me bio section of your profile. The best keywords for you will depend on what you want, what job you want to get, excuse me. A good tip is to find the top 10 job posts for the title that you want and add the skills and major keywords from those posts to your bio. You can see a simple way of doing this in Jeff Sue's video and there's a link here to that video. So make sure you read this article again. Don't have just anyone endorse your skills. When it comes to having skills listed on LinkedIn, there is an additional process where users can endorse those skills. While you can have anyone endorse your skills, like your mom or partner, there is more weight on those endorsements if someone with the same skill endorses it. An easy way to do this would be to ask your current or former coworkers for an endorsement, and you'll return the favor. And if you have good standing with previous managers, it would look even better if they endorsed you, at least in the eyes of the recruiters. There are countless other tips to help you rank better and stand out on LinkedIn, but having an all-star account and using keywords on your bio are the easiest and fastest ways to start getting noticed by recruiters. Again, this article is dated February 4th, 2024, and it's how to get an all-star status on LinkedIn. Please go back and review it, especially down toward the bottom of the article where it has a link to a video that would show you a simple way of making this happen. Wishing everybody a fantastic weekend, everyone. Have a good one.
Great. Thank you so much, Rosina.
Welcome.
All right. The lunch report today, for those of you who are there in person at 11:45 a.m., it's going to be at Jason's Deli at 4801 West Parker Road in Plano, Texas. And so hopefully you guys will be able to join and see you there. Have a sandwich for me. All right. So now we're going to turn it over to me and I will talk about Crystal Knows. And so before I get started with this, I'm going to share a little bit about Crystal Knows on another PowerPoint deck. So 1 second while I get to that. And it'd be good to know how many people have heard of Crystal Knows and are already aware of what it is. And hopefully some of you are already. If not, that's what I'm here to talk with you about today. So 1 second while I reshare my screen. All right. And it'll be in slideshow mode here momentarily. And then we'll talk a little bit about it, and then I will do a live demo on it for you. All right. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a backstory about Crystal Knows and how I got to know about it. I was unemployed in 2020. And so I had joined a job search group in the Chicago area, which is where I'm from. I currently reside in the Phoenix area. And in that job search group, I saw that they had this Crystal profile. And I'm like, well, this is very interesting. What is this? And as I dug into it more, I'm like, wow, this is a personality profiling system. How can I use it as a job searcher so that I can leverage it as part of my job search activities? And so with that, I want to talk a little bit about it. If you're familiar with the DISC system, there are several other personality profiling systems out there. This is based on the DISC system, so you'll see it based into 4 quadrants, if you will. And then within that, they have sub personality types. So in the upper left-hand corner here, you see the D or the dominant, and then you can see architect, captain, driver, initiator, and so forth around the wheel as we look at this. So with that, what Crystal Knows, they use that personality AI tool. And this is before AI ever became a buzzword. And it can accurately identify anyone's I guess, a personality, and it analyzes text samples, responses, and other key attributes. It has about an 80% accuracy rate. When I first tried it out on a couple of people that I knew, I used my 10 free profiles on them. They said, wow, this is like 95% me. This is really accurate. And for others, it's less than that. But I think it just depends on First of all, did you write your own LinkedIn profile or not? What it does is it does look at your LinkedIn profile. It doesn't scrape any other information off of the internet about you. So it's what you have in your LinkedIn profile. That's where it's getting the personality information from. Okay. And then with this, in the tool, once you download the Google Chrome widget that they have, you can get personalized situation-specific advice on how to communicate with that person effectively and how to write to them persuasively as well. They have at the top of their link, crystalknows.com, which is the link at the bottom. It'll say add to Chrome. You download that Chrome widget and sign up for free, take the free profile assessment, and then you get 10 free LinkedIn profiles to review. You can view anyone's personality on LinkedIn as long as they have enough information in their profile for you to look at. Okay. Now they changed a bit their billing structure. They have now $49 per month. It's billed annually with tax included, and that's for 200 profiles. I have a different system. I'm a bit grandfathered under their old system, so I have a month-to-month, I guess, subscription, if you will. So I can view a lot of different profiles. So with that, again, this is what the disc wheel looks like. You can see the D, the I, the S, and the C, and then all the different sub-personality types around it. And oh, that's Jeff's. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm actually going to share. I'm going to share the actual Google so that you could see it. 1 second. All right. So can you guys see my screen? I think I need to hide the thumbnail video.
It's showing the job father
Correct.
page. Okay.
So you guys can see, and maybe I can see if I can look in the chat as well. Let's see, 1 second. I'm going to close that. All right, so you can see Foster Williams. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with Foster. And with that, over here to the right, you can already see what they've changed with Crystal Knows is here it just used to say view personality. So this is the Google Chrome widget at work, right? I have it up here in the upper right-hand corner. You see this little widget. And so here it already says what kind of a personality he has. Keep conversation lighthearted, use self-deprecating humor, and talk about abstract philosophies or ideas. And so when you click on this, what will happen is it opens up his whole profile and it says, okay, he's considered to be a motivator. He's versatile, personable, open. And it says how to communicate with him. Demonstrate optimism for the future, flexibility to make changes and exciting new ideas, speak with expressive, colorful language, keep the energy light. And it says here what not to do. Then here you can see the disc map. With the disc map, it will show you your personality versus his. So again, up here in the upper left is dominant. He's under influential. Then there's steady, and then there's conscientious. I'm here, so I'm under the conscientious part, and Foster's over here under the influential. So you're probably saying, well, how is this useful to me? What can I do, right? So if you are looking at this, it tells you down here his kind of behavior and what to expect out of Foster when you interact with him, right? So share big, inspiring ideas, bouncing between topics in a conversation, try to reduce or avoid structure and bureaucracy, And then here, it gives you examples of how to write to foster, right? Use an emoticon, make it funny, write with a casual tone. And it gives you more tips here if you click on this. It says Foster is a great collaborator and enjoys brainstorming ideas, but isn't very detail oriented. So when reaching out to them, use friendly, enthusiastic language and try to avoid big lists of information. If Foster were on the call, he would say, yes, this sounds exactly like me. And then here it also tells you how to drive Foster to take action, engage in action. It tells also here what energizes Foster. He has interesting ideas, peer recognition, new friendship. And then what drains him? Lack of creativity in an environment when others nitpick details or having their ideas shut down. When speaking with him, keep the conversation lighthearted, use self-deprecating humor, talk about philosophies, abstract philosophies or ideas. And then for team roles, how to interact with him as well. Avoid being overly critical, help keep him accountable to deadlines, and build social time into the workflow. And as we go down, we'll see the comparisons. When you go online and you take the free test, it'll ask you a series of questions and it'll determine whether you're risk tolerant, risk averse, trusting, skeptical, and so forth. So it shows you on here how Foster is in comparison to me when we look at that. And then you can come down here and rate this profile. So this is fairly interesting as far as how to interact with him. So that already gives me a little bit of a clue. Now, what really gave me the biggest clue when I was job seeking is, so here we looked at this profile. There's also a widget or a part of the widget on here called quick meeting tips. So when you click on this and you say, I need to call Foster so I can make a sales pitch, and it gives you a lot of different options here: negotiate, make a good impression, persuade him to take action, so forth. But what's really interesting is convince them to hire you. And this is the tip that I saw when I was looking at it for job seeking. So if I'm interviewing with Foster for a job and I want to convince him to hire me, I want to focus on my ability to be creative. I want to offer to meet him in person, point out a mutual connection or interest, and use a casual, lighthearted tone. What I don't want to do with Foster is use overly general, bland language, dwell too much on my past accomplishments, focus too much on their problems, or wait for them to follow up. So that's how I need to interact with Foster when I'm interviewing with him. So I found this, for me as a job seeker, very, very impactful, at least how it's helped me in all of my job interviews. So this for me was a game changer. Other things in here too, when you're getting down into negotiation, as far as if you're trying to get more money from the company and so forth, how do you negotiate with them? Here, they tell you how to negotiate with them as well. So I find this to be super important and interesting as well. Now, if I were to also call Foster and I need to sell to Foster, it tells me based on my personality how I would need to sell to him, right? So I need to sell to him that that I need to be more personal and friendly and so forth, right? And then I can choose a sales stage as well. So for anybody who's in a sales role, this is going to be also a great tool for you to use as well. And then what else is also interesting is I have the different playbooks. So if I want to sell to Foster, do discovery with Foster, or any of these other things down here, negotiate, account management, which is something I'm in, or how to build rapport with him, it gives me all different types of ways that I can do that. And with that also, it tells me how to send him an email. How should I write to him that appeals to his personality? Be encouraging and casual. Use less than 5 words. Don't be too direct. And then for the body and the call to action and so forth. So it really gives you a great idea of what to do. But again, for me as a job seeker, coming up here and going down to convince them to hire you has been very key for me as in the job search toolkit. So with that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up to everybody on here and see who would like to volunteer, and see who I should pull up as far as, and then we can look at your profile and you can tell me how accurate you think that it is, and then we can go from there. So anybody can give their name and then I will look them up.
Before you do that, is this already built in, or it's only people who have gone through the assessment will show up? So if you are interested in somebody like Foster did not
Anybody.
fill out
It'll
the
look up anybody.
assessment. Okay. This is very
Yes,
powerful.
it'll look up anybody, because I can tell you all these people that I know of, they have not, they've not heard of Crystal Knows. So what it's doing is it's pulling everything off of LinkedIn, whether or not they've gone on to Crystal Knows and taken the self-assessment. So,
Awesome.
all right. Any other questions before I see a couple hands? I can't see all the chats right now, but Matt, looks like you have your hand raised. You want me to pull up your profile?
Yes, I put my LinkedIn URL in the chat.
Okay, are you this first person?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see I have this here. I have to pull up view full profile, and what it'll do is it will spin here and then it'll tell me what his personality profile is, right? So for Matt, it has Matt as an architect. So that's part of the dominant part of the Crystal Knows: focused, persistent, vigorous, how to communicate with Matt. So Matt, I'm going to ask you if you feel like this is resonating with you, right? Communicate with a skeptical, highly planned and data-driven approach. So it says to be upfront and blunt about potential issues, use a serious business-like tone as opposed to a casual tone. It says, don't bounce around between many conversation pieces, stay focused. Don't use too much casual language. Instead, focus on professionalism. All right. And then it shows where you are on the map, which is right here, where I am. So does this sound like you, Matt, so far?
It does.
Okay.
Pretty accurate.
All right. So here, as far as behavior, it says challenging ideas that don't make sense, verbally challenging a bold claim about a product, pausing a conversation to correct something inaccurate. And here about writing styles, you want to be clear and concise when you write to Matt. You want to avoid open-ended questions in favor of yes or no questions. And you want to state your purpose for the email in the first sentence. So why are you contacting him? You want to get right down to business with Matt. And then here, how to drive Matt to take action. You want to prove that you did your research, set a clear end time, and you want to focus on these action items. What energizes Matt is independence, personal space, speed, and efficiency. What drains him, waiting for extended periods of time, inefficiencies and waste, long conversations with an unclear objective. Matt, does this sound like you? Yes, I'm assuming it is.
It does. I'm sorry. The only microphone is in the laptop, so I have to
Yeah.
keep jumping back and forth.
No worries. And so when speaking to Matt, you want to keep it succinct. You want to get right to the issue at hand. And you want to use words like done and absolutely. And with team roles, stay focused on the task at hand. Know that they prefer working alone and don't be afraid to ask tough questions. And here it shows the comparison of me versus him as far as the risk tolerance, risk averse, and trusting, and so forth. All right. And so with that, now you're probably saying, well, gee, this sounds very interesting. If I want to do this on a person I'm interviewing with, but I'm not going to remember all this stuff from the widget, right? What you can do is you can come up here and you can see it says view full profile, and then you'll be able to download this information. Okay. Now, what it won't download, at least from what I've noticed, is when I come here and I need to say, convince them to hire you. So I'll download his full profile, but then I will write on them. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm going to take on challenges, that I work efficiently, I'm going to use that serious, intense tone when I'm interviewing with Matt. And I'll say I'm happy to offer examples of my work. Okay. And then what not to do. Don't use unclear language. Don't appear overly friendly or casual. Don't be overly open for building trust. And don't hesitate to talk about money. So that is how I would interact with Matt if I were interviewing with him. And he's the hiring manager and or somebody on the team who's interviewing me for a role. Okay.
I would agree with everything except serious, intense tone. I like to joke around.
You agree with everything except which one?
The serious, intense tone. I like to
The
joke
serious, intense tone. Okay. All right. So Matt, how accurate do you think this is on a percentage basis? Do you think it's at least 80% accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, great.
And I would like
Okay,
to export that and send it to you.
I can do that. I will take
Thank you.
names down.
Yeah, it looks like we're already connected on LinkedIn.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Ilona, you want me to pull you next?
Yes, and also could you show where exactly to click to begin this process? I was just looking at my profile and I wasn't sure where exactly is the
Oh,
first
you have to go to crystalknows.com
first. Okay, I got you.
onto the website. At the
Yes.
very top, they will have on there add to Chrome. That's where you would download the Google Chrome widget. But you should, you'll have to sign up for free and then you can take the personality assessment. And
Right.
one other thing too is if there is something where like it's a little bit different. Matt, instead of being an architect, is a captain if he took the test. Then the next time I open up Crystal Knows and pull up Matt's profile, it will update it to captain or whatever he ended up taking it once he took the profile, if that helps and makes sense. Okay. All right. Ilona, you want me to pull you up next?
Yes, please. PESDI. Yes.
Right. Okay. What do you think your personality is?
I can't remember what is the introvert,
It's
feeler, is
calculating right now.
a
It
feeler.
actually has you as a
30.
captain.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. So it says you're assertive, you're independent, you're decisive. It says communicate with a direct, clear, and high intensity approach towards achieving goals. You want to highlight competitive advantages of the product, use an energetic, assertive tone. Don't sugarcoat or use vague, overly optimistic language to describe the value of your product. Don't be overly friendly. Be assertive and push back when you need to. Don't be overly friendly. Be assertive and push back when you need to. And then, sorry, I scrolled down fast. So it shows where she is on the wheel. So she's right here under the dominant. So this is where this comes in here, right?
Mhm.
So when it comes down here for your behavior, you tend to feel anxious about someone else making decisions on your behalf, getting angsty if a conversation lasts too long, and speaking up to get everyone back on topic in a meeting. And then it says in writing styles, write 3 sentences or less, avoid being overly detailed, be concise and to the point. And then it says to keep it as short as possible, quickly address the purpose of the meeting, stay on topic. And what energizes you are challenges, taking charge, and professional growth. And what drains you are slow pace of work, keeping your opinion to yourself, and following inflexible rules. And so when speaking to you, get right to the bottom line. Don't be afraid to disagree and assert yourself with confidence. And then get used to a fast working pace. Expect them to adapt quickly to change and give them a chance to take charge. And then this shows the comparisons between you and me. So Ilona, how accurate do you think that this is?
I think it's pretty accurate. I like to have frank conversations and and to the point, but I am very friendly when I'm having a conversation. So I think it was saying that I'm really assertive. I think I am a little bit more softened than that. But I think it's pretty accurate.
Okay, great. And so what I can do, Alona, is I can send you your profile to you as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's see who's next. I can't see the chat. Anyone? Let me see. So Matt,
I'll go. I'll
I'll just
type
see
my
who-
name in. It's Elizabeth Haggerty, but I'll type it in.
Okay. I can see if I can type it in and look for you and then you can tell me, right?
Okay. Yep.
All right, hold on. Elizabeth. And how do you spell your last name?
Hagerty.
Okay, so that's this one.
Yep.
All right, Elizabeth, what do you think your personality profile is?
I have no idea.
All right, hold on. It's gonna spin the wheel here. And so you are a motivator,
Oh.
versatile, open, personable. So this is similar to what we saw with Foster Williams. You want to demonstrate optimism for the future, flexibility to make changes and exciting new ideas. You speak with expressive, colorful language, keep the energy light with jokes or an upbeat attitude. It says, don't prioritize cost over short-term emotions or relevant parties. Don't focus on details at the start. Start with a strong connection. Well, that's how to communicate with you. Then it shows where you are on the map. So you're over here on the right under the influential. And then down here, it tells a bit about your behavior, trying to reduce or avoid structure and bureaucracy, bouncing between topics, sharing big, inspiring ideas, and so forth. So this is similar to what we saw with Foster, interesting ideas, peer recognition, new friendships, and drainers for you are lack of creativity in an environment when others nitpick details, overly predictable, safe environments. It says to keep the conversation lighthearted when we speak with you, use self-deprecating humor and talk about abstract philosophies or ideas. And in a team, I would want to avoid being overly critical with you, want to help keep you accountable to deadlines and build social time into the workflow. So here is where it predicts where you are in the comparisons on risk tolerance, trusting, optimistic, and so forth. So Elizabeth, how accurate do you think this is for you?
I think it's fairly accurate. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I can send this to you as well. But definitely I encourage you to go on to, and just to let you know, I'm not affiliated with Crystal Knows. So I don't get anything out of this. I'm trying to help the job seekers and say, this is what I found, and it's helped me tremendously in interviewing. Anybody can go in and look at somebody's LinkedIn profile, but you're not going to get their how to communicate with them, how to interview with them, how to convince them to hire you. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So that is what's very key for me. Okay, Dion Myers. You would like me to pull up yours, or do you have a question?
Yeah, I would like you to pull up mine. I also put my LinkedIn in the chat. I don't know if you can see it in there or not.
Is this
Yep,
you, this top
that's
person?
me.
Okay. All right, Dion, the wheel's gonna spin. You can tell me, what do you think your personality is?
Well, using the DIS assessment, I'm a high C, so that's going to be interesting.
Exactly. You are under the C. You're an editor. So with that, you're organized, reliable, you're meticulous. So how to communicate with you, focus on facts, schedule, and setting accurate expectations. Place a high value on the product's details, even if it takes longer than expected. Walk them step by step through the buying process without rushing. So this is how I'm selling you something. But then Don't bypass or skip over any of your feedback, questions, or concerns, and don't ask too many probing questions before you've built strong rapport. So this is what it's saying about you so far. Here's where you are on the wheel. So you're down here in the conscientious area. So you're very close to me. So I understand the need for being detailed. So thank you. And here with behavior, it says approaching problems cautiously and methodically, paying close attention to all the details, and being comfortable with a rigid structure. So Dion, does that sound like you so far?
Oh, 100%, especially in the job that I'm in where it's detail minded. So,
All right. And then how to write an email to you, be prepared to answer questions, keep the conversation fact focused, use descriptive, accurate language. And then how to drive you to take action, ask for your opinion, take time to work out an agenda, and examine the data before making decisions. And then what energizes you is asking questions, taking your time, and then rules and processes. And what drains you is asserting authority over a group of people, sudden change in plans, attending crowded events. That sounds like me. Does that sound like you so far, Dion?
minus the crowded events, because I love those things. I meet a lot of people at those, but minus that part, it sounds pretty accurate.
All right. All right. So that, are you an extrovert then?
Oh, 100%.
All right. Well, that's interesting because I'm an introvert and I'm like crowded events. Oh. So when speaking with you, encourage them to share their thoughts, ask them to explain something in detail, give them enough time to think before responding. And then in team roles, introduce clear guidelines and rules, give them time to work on their own, and double check your work before you talk to Dion. And then here's how you and I compare. So we're very similar in a lot of these. So Dion, on a percentage scale, how accurate do you think your profile is?
Oh, I'm gonna at least 90%.
All right. So I can send you your profile to you as well. All right.
Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. So Dion, I'll have to connect with you so I can send you the profile, or you can connect to me. Okay. Others have their hands raised. It looks like Walt has his hand raised. Anyone else?
My mistake. I have to go to the bathroom.
Patty, you have two other hands raised, and I know someone was sitting in front of the camera. So you have a couple.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't see everything. So it looks like James Andre has his hand raised.
Yeah, I'm here, Patty.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Let me
And-
pull up you.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, Rosina now, and the gentleman that just moved back to his chair. What's his name?
Hold on.
Behind Walt.
Bill Young is his name.
Okay. Thank you. So is this you, James?
Yeah,
All right. James, what do you think your profile is?
probably dominant.
Probably. We'll see. You're actually under the
Skeptic.
sea a bit.
Oh,
So you're straightforward, strong-willed, methodical. Does that sound like you?
yeah.
Okay, so in communicating with you, communicate with an accurate, straightforward, and results-oriented focus. Bring up potential issues up front rather than dancing around them. Use specific, blunt language as he learns best through direct communication. Don't prioritize small talk. Focus on information specific to the topic or product. Don't gloss over logistical issues or potential objections. And so this is where you sit. So the conscientious is right next to the dominant, but this is
Okay.
still under the conscientious part. So this is where you are.
All
Under
right,
the
I was
CD.
close.
Close. But you know yourself best. If you go on to crystalknows.com and take the free assessment, perhaps you would be a little bit different than this. Again, Crystal Knows will update this if you take that assessment. And then when I pull up your profile again, it'll say, oh, yes, he's now, captain or something, right?
Right.
So with that, it says your behavior is absorbing information more quickly than others, seeking evidence to support claims, separating facts from emotions when making decisions. When we write to you, we want to be firm in our statements, clearly state the reason for the email right away, and double check to make sure everything is factual. And then how to drive you to take action, use facts and figures to maintain accuracy, bring documentation to support your points, and minimize the amount of open-ended questions. What energizes you is detailed evidence, privacy, eliminating waste and inefficiency. Does that sound like you, James?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Drainers, chaotic situations, when others do not follow through on their promises and unclear goals. All right. And then when speaking to James, share your qualifications or expertise, set clear expectations for the conversation, and stay objective rather than emotional. And then with team roles, maintain high standards for your work, do your research before asking questions, and process conflict logically. And so this is how you and I compare in this. So James, how accurate do you think your profile is?
I would say about 80%. Yeah. Definitely
Okay.
in the ballpark.
All right. And so if I were to click on this and say, I need to call James so I can convince him to hire me, I'd have to point out problems that I can help solve, project certainty and competence. I would focus on my ability to work efficiently and offer to answer questions that you have in writing. And this is what I would not do. Make overly bold predictions for my performance. Don't focus on my creativity and don't appear overly friendly or casual. So,
Yeah.
all right. So
Um,
James, you
Patty, I'll
can,
link in with you. I'll send you a LinkedIn.
all
uh,
right,
for
great. Then I
Captain.
can send that to you.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
let's see who else has their hand raised. Let me take a look here.
You should go to Walt next.
Oh, Walt needs to be next. Okay, Walt. Walt, what's your prediction? Where do you think you sit on the
Well, it's very interesting because my work personality and practices and my volunteering practices are not the same. So I'm curious to see what it comes up with.
Okay, so it came up with you as an encourager. You're open, inventive, versatile. Communicate with an expressive and high energy approach, sprinkling in new ideas about the future. So we want to speak with expressive, colorful language, pay attention to the emotions they are experiencing from the conversation. It says don't prioritize cost over short-term emotions of relevant parties, and don't end the call without establishing clear next steps. So this is where you are. You're under the influential sphere over here. So do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So your behavior, it says feeling comfortable speaking to a new person, that you prefer to start a project from scratch, and bouncing between topics in a conversation. And your writing style is how to write an email to you. We should include visual aids where possible, keep it lighthearted, and use an emoticon. And it says how to drive Walt to take action. We want to create time to freely discuss ideas. We want to encourage the team, and we want to engage you in conversation. What energizes you are new friendships, working closely with others, and interesting ideas. What drains you are overly predictable, safe environments, lack of creativity in an environment, and feeling excluded from events. And when speaking with you, I want to talk about abstract philosophies or ideas, affirm your bright ideas, and keep the conversation lighthearted. And then as far as a team role goes, build social time into the workflow. Don't give you too much repetitive work and avoid being overly critical. And this is where it's showing how you would fall in the disc as far as you compared to me. How accurate do you think this sounds for you, Walt?
Let me ask the room because they know me better than I do. What percent? Yeah, I'd say very much. 91.6.
91.6. All right. So I
You
hope
don't need to say
everybody,
that to me.
I can, yes, absolutely.
No, you
And-
don't have to. I'm saying you don't have to say.
oh, I don't have to. Okay, I can't hear you very well. All right.
Thank you.
So I hope everybody's kind of getting the idea here how this can help you. But again, I really encourage you to come here and look at convince them to hire you. So then you know how to interview with that personality. And these are the things you need to say.
You have one more sitting in the hot seat there.
Oh, yeah. Who is that?
You have to speak up. I think it's Mr. Young.
Phil Young. Oh, you have to type it. You won't find it that way. Type in Philip with 2 L's. And then Edwin, E-D-W-I-N. There's a ton of Phil Youngs. And then Young. Last name Low-U-N-G. I should pop up. Oh, let's see. That's me.
This is you. All right. Phil, what do you think your personality profile is?
I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to take it just to see.
Okay, so you're under the conscientious part. So you're an editor. Reliable, organized, calm.
Okay.
So how to communicate with you, focus on facts, schedule, and setting accurate expectations. We want to place a high value on product's details, even if it takes longer than expected. Walk you through step by step through the buying process without rushing. We don't want to bypass or skip over any of your feedback questions or concerns. Don't ask too many probing questions before you've built rapport. So that's what it has so far. You're down here in the conscientious area. So you're right here. And then it says here, your behavior, approaching problems cautiously and methodically, being comfortable with a rigid structure, and paying close attention to all the details. And then when writing to you, I want to keep the conversation fact focused. I want to be prepared to answer questions. I want to provide lots of details and information. And if I were to drive you to take action, I want to take time to work out an agenda. I want to ask for your opinion, and I want to lead the conversation. What energizes you is taking your time, asking questions, and having support from others. And what drains you are sudden change in plans, asserting authority over a group of people, and inconsistency from others. And then when speaking to you, I need to ask you to explain something in detail, encourage you to share your thoughts, and give you enough time to think before responding. And then for team roles, include clear guidelines and rules, double check your work, and give you time to work on your own. And this is how you compare to me on the test. Phil, does this sound like you?
No.
It doesn't?
No. I mean,
I'm surprised.
It's well, what happens is you write LinkedIn, you write it in a certain format. But let me see. Oh, okay, I can't. What category is that? Taking their time, asking questions, support from others. Oh, that's talking. Okay. Is that what they're doing with me? No,
So where it says if I need to drive you to take action, then I need to do an agenda, ask for your opinion.
No. Because see, I deal in work where a lot of stuff is on the fly. So
interesting.
Fire drills. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it depends on what it is, but most of the time it's like on the fly, so you just learn to adjust. Ask for my opinion, lead conversation. Not really.
So I don't have to keep a conversation fact focused with you. I can talk about the birds and the weather and everything.
Yes. And what happens is that, like,
Interesting.
sometimes at work, it's like, okay, we got to get this thing solved quick so it gets more fact focused. But if we're talking about taking a different approach on something, then we start, kind of freestyle, because, that's the way you come to a solution. It's not just go fact, 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 fact. You just go freestyle.
So Phil, a couple of questions for you. Did you write your LinkedIn profile? Did
Yeah,
you
I think,
did you do this yourself?
yeah, let me see. There's parts of it where people came in and helped me edit it to be more focused on what LinkedIn wants. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So this happened with somebody else that I had run a profile on, that somebody else had written their LinkedIn profile, and it's picking up a bit on the personality of that person and not of you. So what I would suggest you do is be true to yourself, have your true personality out there, because this is what people are going to expect when they see you.
That's a great clarification question, Patricia. So is it the assessment that we fill out, or is it the profile text that's
So
reflected in the summary?
So what it's taking, like Phil's never taken this test on Crystal knows. So
Sure.
this is what it's predicting that it would be. But you go on there and you take the test, it'll put that as your profile, whether or not it predicted it closer or not. So what I would suggest you do, and this is what has happened, is you want to be a true reflection of yourself in LinkedIn, because that is what people are going to expect when they hire you. You don't want to pretend to be somebody else or something else. And so definitely be true to yourself. And if you do have other people write your LinkedIn profile, then something like this can happen, like what's happened with Phil. If he says this doesn't sound anything like him, what I can do is I'll say it's very inaccurate and I can submit this. And then Crystal knows we'll take a look at it. Right? So, Phil, you're saying this is very inaccurate, correct?
Well, I mean, there are some parts that are accurate, and I just didn't do the math on it, but I'd say less than 50%. Over
So
25,
mostly inaccurate.
mostly inaccurate.
Okay. So, I can tell them like what's inaccurate about this profile and say, and then submit it. And then they'll get that information.
Okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good thing to learn. I mean, you're one of very few people that I've run into where it doesn't sound like you at all. And like I said, it's because of other people have contributed and written into your LinkedIn profile. And that's usually been the case of what's happened. So, all right. Dion, you have a question. Or your
I did
hand
not.
is.
I just never put my hand down, but I do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else?
So I'm very analytic, so I will take a look of the profile that you sent and provided as a baseline, and then once I take the assessment, I will compare and contrast whether there are
Absolutely.
differences. It's really fascinating.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is fascinating because I think everybody can be a little bit different. If you're a little bit different at home than you are in work, right? But here, this is what people are looking for as far as what they want to hire. And so definitely reflect yourself in LinkedIn. Okay, Frederic.
Hi, good morning. My name is Frederic Peterson.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Frederic. Excellent. Okay, what do you think your personality profile is?
I think I'm very calm, maybe a planner,
Maybe under conscientious,
maybe.
but it's coming up with, yes, you're under conscientious.
Okay.
You're the skeptic.
Okay.
You're strong-willed, straightforward, skeptical. So to communicate with you, communicate with an accurate, straightforward, and results-oriented focus. So we want to bring up potential issues up front. rather than dancing around them. We want to use specific, blunt language as you learn best through direct communication. Don't prioritize small talk. Don't gloss over logistical issues or potential objections. So this is where you are on the wheel. So you're under conscientious. See the C and the D. And I'm here.
Okay.
So we're very close to each other on the wheel. Your behavior, seeking evidence to support claims, absorbing information more quickly than others, separating facts from emotions when making decisions. Does that sound like you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. When writing to you, clearly state the reason for the email right away. Be firm in your statements and give plenty of evidence to support any claims. And then how to get you to take action. So I'd want to bring documentation with me to support my points. I want to use facts and figures to maintain accuracy, and I don't want to discuss any personal stories. Energizers. For you, privacy, detailed evidence, and creating procedures. Drainers for you, when others do not follow through on promises,
Oh, yeah.
chaotic situations, and crowded, busy events. Does this sound like you as well?
Yeah, it does. Pretty
All
much,
right.
yeah.
And then when speaking to you, set clearer expectations for the conversation, share my qualifications or expertise, and back up my thoughts with clear data. And then when team roles, I want to do my research before asking questions, maintain high standards for my work, and give you space to work independently. And this is where it's predicting where you compare to me. So with that, how accurate do you think your profile is?
It's accurate.
All right. Okay. So with that, I can send you your profile to Frederic if you would like.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I will send you an invite.
Okay, great.
Hey Patty, I have a question. Can you hear me? It's Jama.
Yes, I can hear you a little bit. Yes.
Hi Patty. Okay, let's try this again. So I have an interview coming up, but the
Yep.
DISC profile is based on what kind of information that is in your profile, right? To your point with Phil. So if it's pretty sparse, like not a lot of information, it'll still produce it, but the risk level is higher that it might be inaccurate. Is that what I'm understanding?
I mean, it won't come up with anything if you have nothing in the LinkedIn profile. If it's very general, like you can give me the name of who the person you're interviewing with, and I can pull up that person's profile.
SAJNI. NI. No, SAJNI.
Oh,
Last name Patel, PATEL.
okay. There are a few of them.
The one that's the vice president at Hawkeye Hotels. That's 5 down. There you
This
go.
one. All right.
That's her.
Let's look
Yes.
at this one. Let's look at her profile. All right, let's look at what we need to say to her to convince to hire me or hire you. She's a motivator. Offer to meet in person, express excitement for the future, focus on the ability to be creative, use a casual, lighthearted tone. That's the kind of person this person is. Don't wait for them to follow up. So you need to follow up with her. Don't dwell too much on your past accomplishments. Don't make an overly formal request, and don't use overly general, bland language. In general, this person is a visual person. She's got a light energy about her. From what it can see, she's over here on the influential sphere. Creating a high energy work environment is what you can expect out of her. She feels comfortable talking to strangers. She thinks out loud. And then writing with her, tell a vivid, engaging anecdote, appeal to her feelings to drive them to take action, and write with short, casual language and abbreviations. Share interesting stories, be flexible about timing, Send a reminder the day before on how to drive her to take action. What energizes her is adventure, social energy, fun, and excitement. Drainers, spending too much time alone, feeling stuck in the same place, and feeling micromanaged. So here you want to use diagrams to explain concepts when you're speaking with her, speak with colorful descriptions, and listen to and engage with their personal stories. And then, show passion for your work and so forth. So this is where she sits on the wheel. Okay.
I'll let you know.
Yes. Good luck.
Will you send me that one?
Sure.
Thanks, Patty.
No problem. Okay. Anything else? Let me see what we've got in the chat.
How long has Crystal Noise been around?
It's been around since 2015.
Yeah.
So it's been around for about 9 years, and I discovered it in 2020 when I was in the job search. So definitely it's something that is before AI became the buzzword, this was around. But for sure, for me, it's helped me with my interviews. And this is how you can differentiate yourself versus all the other interviewers, right? They're not going to know about Crystal Knowles. They're not going to know the personality of the person they're interviewing with unless they actually know that person. And very few people actually know the person that they're interviewing with. So this is just one other tool that you can leverage in your job search toolkit. And this is why I say, you know what? It's free. You get 10 free profiles. And as you can see, most all these were fairly accurate. Don't burn them on your friends and family. Use them on people you're going to be interviewing with. So that would be my suggestion. Yep.
Patty, do you find that companies invest in this for their salespeople? Like if you're employed with a company that's in a sales role, that this is something they invest in?
Well, that was the whole goal around Crystal Knows is they are selling this into companies, right? So they want their teams to work better together and to get to know each other, right? And obviously, it's got a lot of sales applications in here. For me, as I'm in account management and have been in a sales role, I've used it in negotiation with, oh my gosh, this person is really hard, this client. How do I negotiate with her? Okay, this is how. This is what's going to get her to take action and move on the contract. So I've used it from that angle, but definitely their goal is to get it into organizations and have people use it so that the managers know their team's personalities and the team members get to know how to work together better and with each other. For me, I found the convince them to hire you angle. I haven't seen that with other, personality profiling systems out there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take this one to the bank. I'm going to run with this. And so that's why I found it to be very, very helpful for me.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions or comments about Crystal Knows? And again, that's crystalknows.com. You can sign up for free. There's the add to Chrome link at the very top of their homepage. That's where you will get this little widget that you see up here. Make sure, I will remind you, you don't leave this open once you are on a person, because if you all of a sudden search somebody else and it's just somebody casual or whatever, oh no, you've now used one of your free profiles on them. So make sure to use this X button at the top to close the sidebar so that you don't have this open and you're burning up on your free profiles. Okay. Any other questions? No. No other questions. Crickets. I hope you guys found this very informative and exciting. I think it's a great tool. Again, another tool in your job search toolkit. It really is, something else that a lot of other people don't know about. And I've been very fortunate to speak to other job search groups about this. And they're like, wow, we've never heard about this. I'm like, best kept secret, right? So I think what I can do is I think I still have some other slides that I can share for the meeting if there's anything else at the end that we need to wrap up with. Let me see.
Patty, I have a
Upcoming-
question.
Yes.
When you're on LinkedIn and you look at the profile and run the assessment, can you tell if that assessment is based on the individual assessment that the person completed or if it's being run off of the LinkedIn profile?
If you took the assessment,
Yep.
it's that assessment of what you took.
Yeah.
That overrides anything else
Okay.
that's in there.
But that would be my assessment. But if I'm looking at another individual, like if I looked at you, would I know if it was based on your LinkedIn or if it was based on your individual assessment?
It's based on my individual assessment because I've already taken the test.
Correct. But how would I know that as the person looking at it and doing the comparison?
You wouldn't, but
Okay.
either way, it's going to pull up, you know, what it's pulling from that person's profile. And I will say that one person had told me in the past when I had said, you know, in your profile it says, oh, you like to tell jokes and this and that. She goes, Patty, I'm a serious person. I'm trying to get a serious job. That is like not like me. And I said, okay, let me look at your profile. I looked at her profile and two of her recommendations said that she was like this.
Ah,
So
okay.
everybody, you should be very clear on who's writing your recommendations, that you've looked at them thoroughly, because Crystal Knowles wasn't wrong. Crystal Knowles pulled that out of there. She was surprised when I went back to her with that information and she's like, oh, and I'm like, yes, I would highly recommend you get them to revise the recommendation or remove them. If you're trying to get a serious accounting job, it says in there that you like to joke around. So it's important that you guys know the content of your LinkedIn profile and that you're really true and accurate to yourself, right? And especially for the kind of job you want to get, right? So I think that's important to know. So
Thank you. Helpful. Thank you.
yeah.
That
Any
is
other questions?
It's just a great point because anything we can control what we put on our LinkedIn profile, but we can't control what's in our reference
You
section.
you
Well,
approve the recommendation. So
right,
you
but
need to tell them before, no, strike those words.
yes, now it's being really clear that we're going to need to make sure that every word counts what they write.
Correct. Correct. So you want to make sure that your profile is reflective of you and that your recommendations are reflective of you. If there's anything that's not true to you,
Mhm.
then,
It's
see
an
ya.
interesting point. Is it at this point, like with that person that you mentioned, in that person's case, let's say the recommendation was posted years ago, is it still possible to revise it as
Yes.
will LinkedIn allow to
Yep.
revise it even if it's been dated?
Or you have them write a new one and you can delete that recommendation. You should have control to delete whatever recommendations you want because it's your profile. Otherwise, you can have them revise it. So at least I've been able to in the past. So, but definitely make sure that, I think I found the smoking gun. I think she was really surprised, especially when she said, this doesn't sound like me at all. I'm like, two recommendations say it does sound like you. So, and if you don't have a lot of recommendations, for example, and it's 2 out of 3, then that's really going to be dominant, right? So it's going to say this is her kind of personality, right? So definitely make sure your recommendations are reflective of you and your work. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
It's just a reflection, if you don't mind. Now I know why I'm called captain. It's because of the recommendations, because I definitely didn't put in that much reference, but It's an accurate analysis. I'm just saying, like, I remember now some of my recommendations were saying I took charge, and then so on, so on. So it may be coming from there.
Correct. Very much so. It's not just pulling what you wrote in the summary, the about section, what your jobs are, or so forth. It's also pulling from recommendations. It's pulling from everything that you have in your LinkedIn profile. So don't forget that when you look at your profile. So as you know, as job seekers, we're all supposed to go in and update our profiles and tweak them and this and that, see how we can drive recruiters to our profile. So definitely make sure that your profile is looking the way that you want it to look. And if you should be going out and getting other recommendations from previous coworkers, previous managers. If you don't have very many recommendations, definitely try to get more so that it can boost your visibility. And also then the potential hiring manager and HR person can also find on there saying, yeah, she sounds really great. I've seen some of her recommendations and so forth, right? So always a boost to help on your LinkedIn profile. Yeah. All right. Any other questions for me about Crystal Knows? I hope you found it fascinating. Another tool for your job search toolkit that's free, 10 profiles. There's no reason why you can't be using it on your interviewer the next time and know how to convince them to hire you, right? Okay. So with that, I think I can share the I think the last couple of slides of the upcoming sessions, unless Walt, you have anything else that you need to add?
I'll just make a comment. Don't forget, we can use this tool for informational interviews as well, trying to find things in common and that sort of thing. And it's very interesting that you might get a different impression, because we may have a different work personality than we have in a home personality or a church personality or even a driving personality. So, we're grounded if we're the same person all the way through, but other people may see us as things that we don't see in ourselves. So it gives you pause for thought. So,
Yep.
Annie, what a wonderful job you've done today. I tell you, you have stepped in, taken charge, and have been so kind to us to do that. Great information with what you have and the information that you can provide to help us speed up our job search, get there soon.
Yep, no problem. I think I've got one other slide here to share, and it's about upcoming sessions so that everybody is aware of what that is. So 1 second while I share that PowerPoint here. Okay, so let me get this here. So if everybody can see what the upcoming session is. So we have on Friday, 2/16, Matt Keelan is going to be job search tips. He says to bring your laptop and cell phone. And then also on Friday, the 23rd, preparing for the non-financial side of retirement with Sue Mintz, who is a certified retirement transition coach. So hopefully everybody can join those 2 sessions. I'm going to see if there's anything else after this. So 1 second while I get this up here. And Matt, do you want to say anything about the job search tips for next Friday?
Yes, thank you. Probably more accurately entitled Technology Tips and Tricks to make your tech life and your job search more fun and effective. This is a lab, so bring a fully charged laptop and cell phone. So we'll be walking through a lot of things that you didn't know that your Windows computer and your smartphone could do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And then, as I mentioned, on Friday, the 2/23, preparing for the non-financial side of retirement. So that is going to be exciting. Hopefully everybody can attend that. And then I think that's it for today. Any other questions or comments from anybody?
Thank you. It was amazing.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any questions about Crystal Knows, I will try to answer as many as I can. If it's something super technical and I can't, I'm going to direct you to Crystal Knows and ask them the questions for sure. So looking forward to connecting with you if I'm not already connected with you. And then I can send you your profiles of how you see it. Again, this is how it currently sees you. If you take the test, and it's a little bit different, then the next time I open up your profile, it should update with that one. So, okay. Any other questions? Okay. With that, have a great day for those of you who are there in person. Hopefully you guys can make it to Joe's Deli and have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey, Patty.
Yes.
Hey, it's Rosina. I had
Yeah.
sent you a direct message. Didn't know if you had a chance to see it or not.
Oh, I got a few direct messages, so
Oh, okay.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yes, I can go ahead and send you yours as well.
Thank you.
No problem. I've downloaded the chat. I will then stop the recording and send all that out. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Patty. Have a great weekend.
Yep. Bye-bye.